Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me. In today's video, I'm so excited because we're going to be trying out the new e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wands that have gone viral. I'm going to be comparing these to the Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to do a check-in to see how these compare and how they wear on mature skin. To my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Michelle. I love all things beauty. I really hope that you will enjoy this video. If you do, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you go. And if you hit that bell icon, you could be notified every time I upload a new video. I've had these for a while and I planned on doing this video, and then the Sephora sale came and this was put on the back burner. I'm really looking forward to trying these out for you guys. So let's get started. I'm going to show you the colors that I have, and then I'll apply one to one side of my face and one to the other. I have all of my makeup on with the exception of contour, blush, and highlighter. I don't have a Charlotte Tilbury blush. I really wasn't interested in them, but I do have the bronzer and I do have the highlighter. These are both very, very similar. This is the contour. There is definitely a size difference. Even the little sponges, you can see one is much bigger than the other. The Charlotte Tilbury is a 0.40 ounce. The e.l.f. is a 0.33. It's not a huge difference in the product for the price difference. This tube is giant, which leads me to believe that a lot of times this is kind of on the empty side. It's like that empty bag of potato chips that you buy. Let's just swatch these colors so that you can see what they look like. Let's compare the Charlotte Tilbury, which I have, the color is fair to medium and the e.l.f. is light to medium. So let's just see the difference. So there you go. This is the Charlotte Tilbury and this is the e.l.f. I have to say, I kind of like the e.l.f. better. This is the highlighter. That is the Charlotte Tilbury and that is the e.l.f. I have the e.l.f. in the champagne color and the Charlotte Tilbury Spotlight, which is their champagne version. So really not a huge difference between those two. Man, are they beautiful. I have the blushes in 3 different colors. I got the Rose You Slay, the Berry Radiant, and the Magic Hour. This is the Rose You Slay. This is the Magic Hour, and this is the Berry Radiant. That is a really beautiful color, pretty bold, and they look like they are pigmented, but we're gonna find out when we apply them. This is gonna be interesting. Luckily, I'm not going anywhere today, so it's okay if I have a non-matching face. We're gonna start first with the contour. I'm gonna do the Charlotte Tilbury on this side of my face, and I'm gonna do the e.l.f. on this side. I purposely put my hair back so that we can get a good look at this. I'm wearing a foundation that I know works really well under any liquids or creams. I'm gonna do a little bit up on my forehead. We'll do a little bit in the cheek area. Now we're gonna do the same with the e.l.f. You apply there, there, and there. Okay, so that is the e.l.f. side, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury side. I'm gonna use a damp sponge to tap these out. It is new, so there's no foundation or anything on it. Let's just get started kind of tapping this out. Okay, the Charlotte Tilbury blended out really nice. That's pretty. All right, now let's do the e.l.f. I'm using the other side of the sponge so that it was clean. And let's go ahead and blend this one out and see how it blends. Well, it blends just as easy, super pretty. I can tell already that the e.l.f. coloring was definitely more of a contour than the Charlotte Tilbury, I think. Contours are more ashy, they have a little more gray in them, where bronzers have a little more of that sunlit glow. So if you ever wanted to know the difference between a bronzer and a contour, usually it's the shading. You know, the bronzers give you that sun-kissed look, where contours, like I said, are generally a little ashy, a little gray. These are both looking really, really pretty. I would say that they both blended out really nice. So this was the Charlotte Tilbury side, and that is the e.l.f. side. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do blush. I don't have a Charlotte Tilbury blush wand. I'm gonna take the 2 blush colors, Berry Radiant and the Rose You Slay. I know they're not gonna match, it's okay, but I really want you guys to see what the colors look like on. Let's do the Berry Radiant. We're gonna do that on the Charlotte Tilbury side. And let's just get this in there. I don't know how pigmented these are, so I'm gonna go in kind of light. That might be too much. And then we're gonna use the Rose You Slay on this side. So there you go, Rose You Slay. Just gonna use the same sponge to blend these out. This is the berry and this is the rose. They both have a really pretty glow to them. I'm just gonna take a look in my mirror. This one definitely went on darker, which is strange because this was the rose colored versus the berry. You know what? I'm just gonna put a little more of the berry on to try to even these out. Man, they dry quick. This is the berry and this is the rose. They blended out pretty well. I think maybe I waited a little bit too long before I started to blend them out. When you do apply these, don't let them sit, blend them out pretty quickly, but I think they both look really, really nice. Now we're gonna go in with the highlighter. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. I have a lot of texture to my skin. All of my texture right now is in here. I have a bunch of breakouts. This would be a really good test to see how these look on textured skin and how they wear. I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this highlighter right at the highest, cheek point. That's all I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna blend this one out. Now this is pretty bright. I mean, you can see that is quite a highlight there. I'm not hating it though. Now let's go in with the e.l.f. on this side, and I only did one splotch. I think I need more. The Charlotte Tilbury has the bigger sponge, so it does deposit a little bit more of the product. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury side. This is the e.l.f. side. Right now, I think they look really nice, super glowy. So if you do not like glow or radiance, you probably won't like these. The blush does look really natural to me. I'm actually surprised. I was expecting it to kind of be sparkly on my face. I think this one side looks a little uneven, but that's because I have pimples and I have this giant vein running down my face. So my blush never really looks even. This side always tends to look better. Aside from that, just comparing the colors and how they blend it out, I think that they look really, really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly powder this. I'm just gonna use a NYX mineral powder. We're gonna kind of keep this drugstore. I'm just gonna lightly powder everything. And I do have combination oily skin. Let me look up close. I don't really find that it's accentuating my wrinkles, and I have a lot of wrinkles right in this area. They go down the side. Let's just take a close-up look. I think this looks really, really pretty. And I'm not a huge fan of highlighter. You guys know that. I wanted to put this on just so you can see what it looks like. I don't think it's really accentuating my texture very much, which I'm surprised. And I have to say, I'm actually impressed with these Halo Beauty wands. e.l.f. has been knocking it out of the park with their makeup. Man, if these could be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, they are a fraction of the price. So far, I really like them, but I'm gonna check in with you guys later. I'm gonna do a full day check-in, so it's probably gonna be 7 or 8 hours. I wanna see how these wear, if the blush is completely worn off, especially on combination oily skin, if it slid around, did anything weird, and I wanna see how the highlighter is wearing, if it settled into any wrinkles, if it started to accentuate any of my pores or texture that I have. So I'm gonna see you guys a little bit later. Guys, so I am back for my final check-in. It's been a little over 7 hours, so I just wanna give you guys a close-up look. I'm just gonna take my mirror so that I can take a close-up look. I don't think it really looks any different than it did earlier. The blush surprisingly is staying in place for a liquid blush. Although when I did apply it, I did feel like it dried really quickly. I kind of feel like once you put this on and it sets down, it's not budging, it's staying put. As far as the highlighter goes, it is super radiant. So if you have a lot of texture, especially in this area, you might not want to use it for there. You know, you could use it kind of in the center of your forehead or even on the tip of your nose, your Cupid's bow. You don't necessarily have to put it right here on the highest point of your cheek. You can use highlighter in so many different ways. I was happy with the contour. I loved the color. I liked how it was a little more ashy. It was less like a bronzer and more like an actual contour. I just found that they're super, super easy to use. They may not be the most sanitary because of that little sponge. So many people are using the Charlotte Tilbury and they're not having a problem with it. You could always just kind of take your clean hand and your finger and dab it on, you know, kind of like the end of the sponge, and then you can apply it if you want. You don't have to put it directly on your face. I really like these blushes. They're not a matte blush. Keep that in mind if you are interested in these. There is a little bit of a radiance to them. It's not a glitter. I don't see anything sparkling on my face, like little particles or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do right now, I didn't use the Magic Hour. That one looked a little bronzy. I'm gonna put this on over what I already have, but I'm going to apply it to my finger. Just wanna see what this is gonna look like when I apply it. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's really pretty. Well, now you guys get to see what this one looks like. Whoa. But keep in mind that I'm putting this on over the previous blush. Again, this was the Magic Hour. This would be gorgeous for the summer. I am super impressed with these. Like I said earlier, e.l.f. is knocking it out of the park. The skincare, makeup, they're doing everything right. The only thing I did notice with these versus the Charlotte Tilbury, I didn't say it earlier, Charlotte Tilbury, you can actually close and open it so the product will stop going to the top, where the e.l.f. doesn't have that. It just has a screw on top. So keep that in mind. Final thoughts are, I think that they're great. I think they would be great in the summer. If you're out and say you're not even wearing a foundation and you're just wearing kind of a tinted sunscreen, you could always just throw this on. Just add a little extra color to your face. These are fantastic. Throw them in your bag. The longevity really, really surprised me. The radiance that they give isn't overly radiant, especially with the blushes. As far as the highlighter is concerned, I do think it's a little more radiant than the Charlotte Tilbury. I think if you use it really sparingly, have the right shade, and use it in the right places, I think it would be amazing. I'm so happy that I picked these up. I almost didn't. I was like, nope, those are for younger people. $9 versus $42. If you have been wanting to try the Charlotte Tilbury, honestly, try these guys first. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Don't shy away from them if you have textured, mature skin. Give them a try. There might be some trial and error with the highlighter, but the blushes are fantastic. That is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this and found it helpful. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch. I appreciate it so much. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you in my next video.